Well, I called it, didn't I? If you're wondering what exactly it is I called, that is the topic of discussion today, and that is The Last Guardian. On the Mong podcast, the Middle of Nowhere Gaming podcast, a couple weeks ago, uh, or I think when the announcement first hit of when The Last Guardian was expected to come out, I jokingly said it's not coming out on September, whatever day it was. I don't honestly remember because I don't like the game. I don't care about it at this point. And well, clearly I care about it enough to make a video. Um, and I said it's not coming out. I don't know why people are excited. It's not going to hit that date. It's never coming out. And I was joking. Part of me was joking. Part of me, a little inkling of me inside, was like, it's probably not coming out, honestly. But I pushed that down. I was like, no, they gotta hit that point. At this point, it's been 7 years since they announced it. Not since they started working on it. Since they announced it, it's been 7 years, and people are so it has such a following. It's got such a following of either people with morbid curiosity at this point, or the people who are legitimately huge fans of Ico, or Eco, however you pronounce it, and Shadow of the Colossus, and they're just waiting for like this return to form, this amazing thing that's just gonna blow their socks off. And it's just like they've kept them waiting for so long, and now there's another delay. Now I will give it to them. It's not that massive kind of delay. It's only what, 2 months, but that's still, I feel like in my mind, even as someone who's not excited for it, someone who's been sitting on the outside, forced to watch this happen every time a conference comes up, forced to watch someone mention it every time any kind of announcements happen, uh, it's just like it's kind of sad. It's sad, especially since they've gotten to that very dangerous knife edge point where they can't win. Um, it's kind of like Half-Life 3 at this point. Don't like crucify me. I'm making a valid point. With how long people have been waiting for it, it cannot be as good as they want it to be. I'm not giving you a situation like Duke Nukem Forever, or is that what it was? The really bad one that came out most recently. I think that was Duke Nukem Forever. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be that bad because that game had problems other than the hype. It it had serious problems that even if it had come out exactly on release date and its development and we only knew about it for like a year, it still would have been bad. So that's not that. This is just like people are so excited for this game, and its bubble has been blown so large that it literally cannot release and make everyone happy. And unfortunately, the nature of uh, the video game culture is to just completely cannibalize and destroy something if it comes out and isn't exactly what you wanted, as we've seen most recently with No Man's Sky. Um, the game did amazing things, but it was not what people were expecting. It was not what people wanted, and it just didn't live up to its expectations. And it didn't even have 7 years of us waiting for it. It had two or three, I think. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But it didn't even have the same problem of building up. It built up hype. That's true, but it didn't have the problem of building up so much hype and making people wait so long and teasing people constantly with maybe this is a release date. Maybe they're gonna give us a release date. Oh, we finally have release date. Oh God, it's delayed again. They didn't even have that problem, or not as seriously, and it got completely just destroyed when it came out, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm not going to say it didn't have any problems, but that game probably would have been well appreciated if it had come out and not had all the hype, and everyone had just been like, oh, this is a cool little space thing I can play. It's exploration, mining, etc., etc. Of course, it wouldn't have been for some people, but it wouldn't have had as many issues with the culture of video gamers if it had just come out without hype. And that's the big problem I'm seeing for Last Guardian. Now, some of you are probably sitting there wondering, what are you talking about, Miles? You're always the one that says you're okay with delays and that you think delays are a good thing. I do think delays are a good thing. I will never not think that's a good thing. Like I said, the developers know what they're doing. They're the smart ones who are putting the games together. They know what the problem is and they know if they need to stop it from releasing. But unfortunately, I think Last Guardian should have been killed a long time ago. That's my solid opinion. And I know I always say it as a joke, but I'm kind of serious about it at this point. Um, like I said, it can't release and make people happy, and it's just going to get eaten alive. And I will be horrendously surprised if it releases and people are actually like, "Oh, this is a game of the year contender. This thing is amazing. This is blowing my mind. It's giving me a spiritual experience. It's breaking all the bounds of gaming." Or even if it comes out and people are like, "Oh, this is good and worth the wait," I will be surprised. I don't think I've ever seen a game that has had this long of a development cycle come out and be well accepted and be good. Um, and at this point, it's kind of a joke. Whenever anyone mentions, "Oh, Last Guardian got delayed," you kind of scoff and laugh for a second, and you're like, "Oh, why am I laughing? I completely believe that. I definitely believe that that's a thing that probably happened. And look, it's happening again." Um, and it's really unfortunate. I don't wish ill will upon the developers. I don't wish that they had lost their jobs or lost work or anything. But I want to be realistic. They should have pulled the Titan. Honestly, I'm not saying they could have. I'm not saying that it would have been a clean switch. But if you don't know what Titan was what became Overwatch. So Blizzard had been working on Titan for a while. They realized there were big problems going on with it. They couldn't make it work, and they were disappointed, sure. But instead of continuing to trudge on through the mud and the mire and dig themselves deeper and deeper, they instead decided to say, "Hey, we can maybe kind of take the bits and pieces that we're working on Titan and turn it into something else." And that gave us Overwatch, which was amazing. Last Guardian is a joke at this point. I feel like it's gonna release into a pit of spikes essentially. It that I mean, and also we already know what's gonna happen. We already know the kind of stuff that Jin Design and Sony Entertainment Japan studio usually puts out. In terms of, we know what they've done with Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. It's gonna be going great. Either the kid or the dog bird is gonna die, and then everybody's gonna be sad, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, we're working on something else new now, and it's only gonna be 15 years before you see that one. It'll be awesome." It it's a lose-lose situation for them. If they were to kill it, everyone's going to go crazy. It's going to release and everyone's going to go crazy because it's not as good as they expected it, or it's not what they would have wanted after 7 years of work. So, my I hate this game. I hate hearing about it, and I want the nightmare to be over, but I do wish them the best of luck cuz I feel like at this point they have an uphill battle. Their game is a joke, their release schedule for it is a joke, and I don't want to be pessimistic, but they're gonna they got to fight to win if they want to release it and have it be amazing. And I guess at this point they're like, hey, might as well just delay it again. I mean, we've already done it, so many times. We might as well delay it so that we can release it and have it be destroyed as little as possible. So if we can pick a few bugs out of it before it goes out and get as many of them out as possible, then we're good. But God forbid if the game comes out and has any day one problems, because unfortunately, video game culture or people still haven't learned that day one gaming is great. If the game works and everything, it's awesome. But sometimes there will be problems because there are, you know, testing games in the developer's place of work is a closed environment. They have everything set up in a certain way, and once that game goes out onto you know, millions of consoles if it sells that well, then they can't have anticipated everything that's going to happen. Or, like, if one person's console might be messed up in way X, whereas the other person's console is messed up in way Y. And the game is going to come out and it's probably going to have some issues. And people are probably going to get even more angry about it because, oh, they had 7 years to fix this and it's still bad. Because old people play a lot of video games. So, yeah, I figured as a honestly, a staunch hater of Last Guardian, it I figured I should say something about this delay since, especially since they were so close to the finish line, just kind of tripped up. So yeah, as I said, I wish you all the best of luck with releasing this game. I know you're not watching this, but a message from me to them. I wish you all the best of luck with this because I predict it's going to be very ugly, and it's going to be unfortunate, but That's what happens when it takes 7 years. And I don't want to make light or belittle the development process of video games. I know it's definitely difficult. I I tried being a 3D artist back in the day, and even that was a pain to me. So I'm not going to belittle them or anything, but it's going to be tough. Anyway, my name is Myles Farrington. As per usual, thank you very much for coming and watching another one of my vlogs. I really do appreciate it. If you like what you saw here, like the video for me, or subscribe. You'll get more content, whether that's me playing games or me putting out more blogs. Vlogs, not blogs. These aren't written. These are on video for me to you. So yeah, this is my channel. Thanks. I hope you have a wonderful time.